The Hodge Twins. I don't really want to make a video about them because I actually like respect them in a way. So if you don't know who the Hodge Twins are, they're pretty much the arrowhead for the black conservative movement. They were one of the very first black conservatives to be vocal. In all due respects, they have made a big impact for the conservative community. I mean, they were sitting there making jokes about black people that all white people wanted to say, and they were thinking it, but they couldn't say it out loud. So they were the ones saying it. And I think that's one of the reasons why they became very popular. They were also like kind of like the punchline when we're going through the crap that we did with Biden and conservatives were just losing left and right. They were kind of just sitting there still making fun of the politicians from the Democrats and their crazy ideologies. And it kind of just made you feel a little bit better like, hey, there's still hope. But lately, I think they're just believing in some false stuff. I think they started with the whole Israel and Palestine conflict. This really made them come out totally against Israel. I don't want to call them anti-Semite because I don't think they are. I don't think they're like racist against, Jewish people. I'm just kind of disappointed in them, honestly. I don't, like I said, I don't hate them or anything. I don't dislike them. I think they're, respectable people. I honestly think that they're just like kind of like the punchline for politics. I don't think they have a really big voice like when it comes to like policy change and stuff like that. Somebody like Matt Walsh. Like definitely Matt Walsh is somebody that was a spearhead to dismantling the trans community, and it's working. Like you can literally say what is a woman, and that will destroy anybody, any liberal. But with the conservative twins, you don't really hear anything like influential like that happening. Like I said, there were the people that would make fun of black people, and white people were thinking of it, but they couldn't say it because it would be racist. But now jokes are starting to become a lot looser, and people are starting to become more outspoken, especially on Twitter. There's a lot of outspoken people on there. I just want to make this video to have kind of like a welfare check on them. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're like not managing their channel good or something like that. They have multiple channels on YouTube, and they're almost to 1 million subscribers on some of them. And their main two channels have over like 3 million. But the main thing I want to talk about was with the Iran and Israel conflict that happened recently with Trump. I talked about it on my channel. So they were just out there on the front line, pretty much calling out every conservative who was for Israel. And I understand there's people who really want war to happen, and I totally don't agree with it. My stance on it, I think it was a good thing for Trump to destroy nuclear plants from Iran.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
In Israel, yes, they should fight their own wars, and when they attacked Iran, I think that Israel should have just took care of it themselves. I understand that, and I'm on the fence when it comes to it. I agree on both sides. I'm not sitting here being an isolationist, but I'm not here wanting war. So I'm kind of just in the middle, and I think that what Trump did and the administration did was right. They were on the forefront screaming that there's going to be a World War III. They were like, there's going to be a World War III. Trump's going to make us go into a World War III. Candace Owen is going out there saying she regrets voting for Trump.
I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen, and it is happening.
Like, even the Iranian news was quoting her and some stuff, which is wild because she's Catholic. I don't know why they're defending Muslims so much. I understand that not everything they say about Muslims is 100% true. For the most part, everything seems to be the same over there, and they still hate us. Iranians are literally burning American flags, saying death to America. And that's not photoshopped. It's real. This is real stuff. And, people like the Hodge Twins, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson.
What now? Well, this is just sad on every level.
Are sitting here saying they're just good people, guys. They love everybody. We're just hateful Americans. So it makes no sense to me why they're so anti-Israel. I don't understand that. I know that Israel is corrupt and stuff, but everywhere is corrupt. I'm sorry to tell you, but we live in a sinful world, and there's corruption everywhere. Sorry to tell you guys that. But after the conflict ended, you would expect them to come out with an apology saying, sorry, I scared everybody, saying that there's going to be a literal World War III if we continue to do this. And no apology. They just went out there saying, well, it's ended for now, but there's still going to be a World War III. Like, honestly and for truly, you sound like a grifter. I don't know. I'm in between that they're a grifter or they're just genuinely concerned about the country. I don't know. It's hard to decipher somebody like that. Because on one hand, they're saying this, and on the other hand, they're saying this. They were literally exposed against the war on Twitter, but then on Facebook, hyping up the boomers about the bombings. And they got exposed for that. And they're like, oh, it's just other people running on Facebook. We've taken care of it. We were hiring new people for our Facebook. So it took for somebody to expose you to fix the problem That's not good management, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, I think they're just slipping out of irrelevancy. I think they used to be really popular about 3 years ago, but they're slowly like sliding down the slope of being irrelevant. They're still getting pretty good views on YouTube and stuff. I'm not gonna lie. They're not gonna be broke anytime soon, not unless they're like freaking investing their money into Bitcoin or something. If you go ahead and just look at their past, it is wildly different than it is now. But I really don't want to believe that they're grifters. I think that they're just being misled. And I have a couple tinfoil hat conspiracy theories that they love to hear about why they're changing their minds about stuff. And like I've said before on Twitter, I wouldn't be surprised if they become Democrats or independents in a couple years. Because it just seems like they're talking like Democrats. I'm sorry, y'all are talking like Democrats. They're just really disingenuous about the war that's going on over there, which has ended, but they still proclaim that there's a war going on over there. And it's just disingenuous to sit there and call everybody who disagrees with you a bootlicker. So they came out with a recent podcast talking about the controversy. And the title of the video is literally, there might be a ceasefire, but we're still in World War III. It seems like they just want World War III to happen already so they can just get more views. They didn't really talk about what happened on Twitter. They're just talking about, they're just reacting to the videos that came out. There's some key parts I wanted to point out that is very concerning to me, to say the least. Before we get into this video, go ahead and like this video. And if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. You know, I'm not going to mislead you guys. I'm not going to be two-faced. I try to stay genuine as much as I can as a YouTuber and as a, you know, being on the internet. Because it's hard to. It's hard to trust people nowadays. But, you know, I try to keep myself genuine. I try to keep myself 100% with you guys. But, alright, let's get into this video. So, my conspiracy theory that I was talking about in the beginning of this video, I think this guy is having an influence on the Hodge Twins. I think he's starting to... He sounds like a far-right conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to lie. He sounds like an Alex Jones type person, the way he talks about stuff. There's conspiracy theories that he believes in, and on this show, he talks about it like it's facts. So, that's very dangerous to have somebody influencing you on your podcast or on anything to influence you to believe this bullcrap. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
They use the rhetoric, oh, you're anti-Israel, that means you're pro-Hamas.
Right.
And then and you hold up a Palestinian flag, they're gonna be like, oh, that's a pro-Hamaser. Like, they create the perception for you in the mind. They create, once you see it, the label has already been put in your brain. Oh, that's a Hamas supporter. If you're just a normie and you're not paying attention, and you
from all those protests, everybody that holds up a Palestinian flag, in my opinion, what I've seen, they're saying Israel shouldn't exist. From every protest I've seen, there is people holding up Palestinian flags saying death to Israel. We want to wipe out Israel. Israel shouldn't exist. So what are you talking about, buddy? Like, I don't see. That's what I mean. It's a conspiracy theory. I understand that if you come from there and you want to defend your land, I understand that, and you want to like have your voice. That's fine. But literally holding a university up for hostage for literal terrorists, like the people held up universities, and you're saying that this is fake? That's crazy to me. We've seen it with our eyes. He's trying like to pull a Democrat on us. Like, don't believe your eyes, believe what I'm saying, guys.
watch Fox News all day.
Yeah, but the main point I wanna make is that dude Mahmoud Khalil and this guy who's running for mayor, they're both like Palestinian Muslim.
Yeah, I know.
They go
Arab
too
Muslims.
far. I think it's because our connection with Israel is the reason why they're pushing so hard.
Of course.
Because,
That's the point I
because
want to make.
They can label them.
Blame the Jews. Blame the Jews, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Like, the whole time I've been watching the Hodge Twins, they never said anything about Israel until this happened. Until, like, the last year. So it's crazy. Just blame the Jews, guys. You're not a conspiracy theorist at all.
They try to tell you that, like, Iran is, like, this dust bowl state and, like, has nothing going on.
A bunch of caves.
It's a big cave, deserts, and, like, goat fuckers everywhere just running around.
Who's telling us that? I never heard anybody talk. I know about with the Afghanistan poll and the Houthis. I know they're cave dwellers. They are. They're literally cave dwellers. Nobody said anything about that about Iran though. Like, it's really weird how they're making a straw man argument here. Like, I'm sure there's people that do say that. From what I saw, I never heard people call Iranians freaking, you know, they live in caves or under a hut It's like freaking, but Hassan Hussein or whatever. Nobody said that. Iran is a functioning government. Yes, they hate us. They hate pretty much everybody that doesn't believe in Islam, because that's what Islam is. You're supposed to hate people who don't believe in Muhammad, the Prophet, and Allah. That's their whole religion. So just the fact that you're saying that, it's just crazy to me that you're going out there making a strawman argument. I never heard people say that about Iran. I'm pretty sure there's people who hate it and they say it. But for the most part, who's they? The people who hate Iran? I understand that you hate Iran. But when you're going out here saying the government, Trump, everybody's saying that they're freaking camel jockeys out there. Man, miss me with all that. Nobody's saying that.
Tehran.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Tehran.
Yeah,
here's Tehran.
Iran.
Modern day.
So when we're watching this little video, I'm going to try to make it bigger on my end. What you see in this video when they're talking about it. So let's go ahead and watch it.
That's where they were bombing, huh?
Yeah. So does this look like a Dust Bowl, like goat fucker society
Yeah, I've
to
seen
you?
that
Nope.
mall. It's like I've never seen anything like that in America.
But so many
It's
people.
crazy modern out there.
Yeah, so many people.
They lead you to believe that it's a bunch of terrorists.
And so many people are ignorant to that, and they think that's the reality of it.
Hey, I want to touch on
Man,
what you
that's
said
some-
about
And you know what?
Netanyahu.
Again, real quick.
Yeah.
They tell you that it's like Sharia law.
Right,
Women have
yeah.
no rights. Women have to walk around in ninja outfits all the time. And
Yeah.
I see a lot of women dressing how they want, and then I see a lot of people with hijabs. I think it's like
Right.
whatever.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I want to bring up Netanyahu.
He was saying that there's no Sharia law, right? I'll go back to that in just a moment. But did you guys notice what happened in the video when they're talking? Every girl you see has a hijab on, except for this one. I don't know if that could be an American tourist right here. I don't know who that is. She could have a hijab too. It might be one right there too. Everybody has a hijab on. Even if they're not wearing it, it's around their neck. So clearly there's probably areas that you can and can't wear it. So this is crazy that they're blatantly, you're looking at this video. You've seen even the white lady right here has a hijab. Every woman has a hijab. What are you talking about? They're just because they're not wearing it, they still have it around their neck. There's probably certain areas that you can't wear that. So going around and saying that Iran is modernized is a lie. Going around saying that there's no Sharia law in Iran, it's a lie. This is all a lie. And I'm gonna pull it up right now to show you guys. So I took the pleasure of going on ChatGPT because ChatGPT is very reliable. And I asked, is there Sharia law in Tehran, Iran? I don't know if I spelled it right. Sorry if I spelled it wrong. Iran is officially governed under Sharia law, Islamic law. So they're Muslims. Like it or not, they're still Muslims at the end of the day. They may be a functioning, more modern society, but they still are Muslims. Particularly the Jafari Shati interpretation. So I'm sorry if I said that one wrong. Which is integrated in the Constitution and legal codes. So that's interesting. They're saying that there's Sharia law everywhere. Women don't have rights. That's true. That's true. They're trying to deceive you guys into thinking that Iran is some modern American society that doesn't want to destroy America. It's wild to me. And these conspiracy theorists on the right need to be weeded out. This dude that they're listening to on their podcast is like a conspiracy theorist. I think that's the reason why they're being so weird about everything with Israel. So if you go down here, it talks about all the laws that happened recently. There was a recent law change when a bunch of women start defying the law, and they actually had to reinforcement in 2023 to enforce it even harsher. So there's even harsher punishments. And if you go down here, you guys can read all this. But at the end of the day, yes, yes, wearing hijab is legally required in Tehran. So I did spell it wrong. Sorry about that. I don't come from Iran. So it's still it's still illegal to not wear one, and you can still get fines and arrested in civil lawsuits and imprisonment. So them sitting there saying that it's modernized, there's no Sharia law, it's a lie, a complete false lie. So it's just funny to me how they're letting this goober talk on their show like it's facts, and it's not. Like, it's literally not facts.
Our guy, he's been blowing up. He's our friend of the show, Nick Fuentes. He breaks it down very, like, just succinctly and professorial here. Like,
what's left is Iran.
They're literally quoting Nick Fuentes. If you don't know who that is, he's a really big anti-Semite. Like, he literally hates black people and Jews. Like, he's been on podcasts speaking about this. And the Hodge Twins here are just kicking back, laughing at it, saying, oh, he's right. He is kind of right about it. And there's, like I always say about these people, like Andrew Tate. And they like Andrew Tate, too. They like Andrew Tate. They like Nick Fuentes. That's why their views are so jacked up right now. They're following anybody that's anti-establishment or whatnot, because, you know, these people are against the system. If you're following your political views from these people, you're lost. I would say don't even listen for political advice from the Hodge Twins at this point. If they are following conspiracy theorists, they're lost. You cannot follow somebody with facts if they believe in conspiracy theories. I'm telling you right now. You know, look at Alex Jones. To this day, Alex Jones is a goober, and there's some people who elevated him for the election because obviously, you know, they wanted Trump to get in office or whatnot. But like Alex Jones, he's still a conspiracy nut. He's not as crazy as he used to be because, you know, Elon Musk had to put the daddy hammer on him. But, you know, with Alex Jones, you cannot take this dude seriously. You will never see me referencing something from Alex Jones ever on this channel. Like, it's just crazy to me that they're saying their friend, Nick Fuentes, who is literally racist and hates Jews. So, when you watch the Hodge Twins later on about political views, take it with a fat, huge grain of salt.
Iran. Once Iran is out of the picture, Israel dominates the whole region. Israel becomes the only nuclear power in the region. They control the U.S. government.
And why is it okay that Israel is the only one that gets to be a nuclear power?
Right.
They never tell you that.
Where's the facts at? Where's the facts at? There's no facts to this. Where's the receipts at?
Like, that's not all right, but, you know, because everybody else is just, you know, a bunch of goat fuckers.
Yeah.
They have immense influence in Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar. They control Syria and Jordan by proxy effectively, and Iraq. With Iran out of the picture, they not only control the Middle East, they control the Suez Canal, the Red Sea.
So he's saying that the Jews control all of the Middle East. He said Iraq, bro. That's crazy to me. And there's no receipts, there's no facts, there's no laws. He's just saying it out of the side of his neck, and these people are sitting here believing him. That's why I'm saying you gotta be careful who you listen to, especially like people that you follow, like conservatives. I always say, do your research before you follow somebody. Don't just listen to me. Do your research. But if they're just blatantly listening to a outward racist anti-Semite and they're saying this as facts, there's something wrong with their views about politics.
But also the Persian Gulf. All the oil, all the natural gas,
they got
they
control everything.
All
they
the
control
shipping
everything
that goes through the Red Sea. All the shipping and oil that comes from the Persian Gulf. All of the overland trade routes, the rail, the highways, communications infrastructure, the ports.
It's all controlled by Jews, man.
In this area that go from Asia to Europe, from Africa into Europe and Asia. It's all going to go through a region dominated by Israel. That's the big picture. So the United States has spent trillions of dollars. Thousands have died. We have ruled.
When frickin' George Bush was in office? What about now, buddy? What about in current time? Afghan, that was crazy. That's something that should have been ended a long time ago, and I agree with that. But saying that we're sitting here right now because of the Jews, we pulled out of Afghan, you're crazy. That's literally a conspiracy theory, guys. Where in Iran, where do Jews control the land? The trade routes? That's crazy to me. They control all the Middle East. Why are they always getting attacked though? Because they're rebellious against Israel. Because they're trying to take out the white man. What's going on, guys? It's wild to me that they're sitting here and believing all this nonsense, dude. From what I've heard, Israel's always getting attacked. If they were in control of everything, I believe there wouldn't be the whole place would be called Israel, right?
If that happens, Israel will be our competitor.
Nah. That's the new superpower.
You
And
see,
they
they're
won't
totally
even be a
believing
competitor
it.
because we'll be so heavily penetrated already.
The United States of Israel.
Yeah.
Right.
We're already owned by them, and they're a little state smaller than.
Where's your facts on that? We're owned by Israel. That's crazy. So the Jews control everything, guys. So all of this just leads back to Jews owning everything. It's crazy. They don't like Israel. Just come out and say it, guys. Just come out and say that you don't like Jewish people, you don't like Israel, because it seems crazy that you're saying all this stuff and sitting here nodding your head and believing all this bull crap. It's crazy. Where's your proof at? There's no proof. All they do is talk. No proof, no laws put down, no facts, just this conspiracy theory. Why do you think this is happening? It's so stupid, man. Like, it's irritating because the Hodge Twins should know better than to sit here and listen to these conspiracy theories. And so then on the show, I reacted to a bunch of videos pretty much roasting Israel and people who supported the attacks. Which some of them, they want to go to war, which, I agree with them on that. I don't want to go to war either. Nobody does. They're literally asking this guy his opinion about stuff. So they are listening to this guy like he actually knows what he's talking about. He is. It's just weird to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Man, how do you think this stuff is gonna pan out, Joe?
What I think is gonna happen is, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's gonna heat up again. Somebody's gonna attack somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably gonna be an Iranian attack. You know,
Who knows
the
if
Jews
it's a
again.
false flag or not?
who knows if it's a false flag or not? And then if you try to call it a false flag, they'll call you an anti-Semite. They're already planting the seeds for that.
Everything.
All these people are already planting the seeds for that.
Understand why Iran is trying, if they are trying to develop a nuclear weapon. I can understand why they would want a nuclear weapon, is to prevent people from attacking them.
The same reason Israel wants a nuclear weapon.
The same reason we have them.
It's
Same
a deterrent.
Why Russia has them. It's a deterrent. You can't walk all over me, because if you do, your city, your country is going to have to pay the consequences of that. That's the same.
So everybody should have a nuclear weapon then. So in your opinion, guys, you guys think that everybody should have a nuclear weapon? That's crazy to me. I think we were trying to prevent Russia from having nuclear weapons, but they're a giant country that can hide a lot of stuff. So probably that's how they got nuclear weapons. China is a powerhouse country, so they have nuclear weapons. So yeah, with your logic, everybody should have nuclear weapons, even Israel, right? So you think Israel should have nukes? There you guys go. They're freaking working. They're working for the Jews now, because they said that everybody should have a nuke. So that's the dumbest take I ever heard in my whole entire life. Not everybody should have nukes. There's countries that may go AWOL and say, screw it, I'm taking everybody out with me, which there are leaders that literally destroy their whole country, like freaking Venezuela. And it's just the fact that everybody should just have a nuclear weapon is freaking crazy to me. It's crazy to even say something like that. But unfortunately, they believe in this. They believe that everybody should have nukes. Jews are in charge of everything. Jews control everything. It's crazy. And like I said, it's just sad to see them go down this route. I really hope they change their minds and look at themselves in the mirror. Because they're picking fights with everybody in the conservative party. They are picking fights with Charlie Kirk, bro. Charlie Kirk's like the new Ben Shapiro 2025. He is everywhere. Everybody knows who Charlie Kirk is. But yet you're trying to start a controversy with him. I think you're just trying to stir up the pot. I think you're trying to make some sort of movement. Yeah, they think that there's some sort of voice in the conservative movement, and they're really not. Like I said, they were a punchline. They're comedians. And at this point, I think comedians shouldn't even be in politics anymore at this point, because it seems like every comedian that gets into politics, they'll be on one stance and then all of a sudden they shift over. That's what they're doing right now. They're going to shift over. And like I said, in a few years, I wouldn't be surprised if they become a Democrat or independent. I wouldn't be surprised. So I want to make this video to kind of just point out the hypocrisy with the Hodge Twins. It's sad to say, like I said, I respect them still. I hope they change their minds and kind of like turn away from what they're believing in because it's just a bunch of conspiracy theories. I would like them to bring on somebody who's totally pro-Israel and debate them. But there's no facts, there's no receipts, there's no proof that the Jews control everything. I don't believe that. And they're sitting here believing like it's facts. So it just makes me wonder if this dude is having an influence on the Hodge twins, and they're getting their radical right ideas from this guy. And like I said, I hope they change their ways. I hope they realize that they're wrong about a lot of stuff, and they should stop believing in conspiracy theories, because I really just think that these are just conspiracy theories, like to my humble opinion, and they're acting like it's facts. So what do you guys think about the Hodge twins? Do you guys think they're grifters? Do you guys think that they're just lost right now and hopefully they'll come back to reality? Are they taking too many red pills from the red pill communities from Andrew Tate? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments below. And, you know, I don't expect this to get to them, this video, but I just wanted to just kind of point out the flaws in what their ideology is right now. Is very concerning, especially for a longtime viewer that totally respects them. And they're just, I just feel like they're lost. They've been lost for the last year about this issue and some other issues too. But if this video does good and you guys like this, I can talk more about them. There's a lot of stuff that makes me believe that they're going to be Democrats soon. So if this video gets a good amount of views and likes, I'll definitely make another video about that. But what do you guys think about this? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. And subscribe to this channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video.